Let's talk about multiplying by tens, hundreds, and thousands. You can use a pattern to multiply with tens, hundreds, and thousands. First, let's start with the basic fact. We have 3 times 4, which is equal to 12. Now we can use that basic fact to help us multiply by tens, hundreds, and thousands. For example, 3 times 40, I've just added a 0 to the factor 4. So in my product, I need to add 1 0 to my product. So the answer to my basic fact, 3 times 4, was 12. Now I just need to add a 0 because I was multiplying 3 times 40. My answer is 120. Now let's do 3 times 400. I've added 2 zeros to the factor 4 in my basic fact. So I need to add 2 zeros to my answer, or my product. The answer to my basic fact was 12, and now I will add 2 zeros. So 3 times 400 equals 1,200. We can do the same thing when we multiply by thousands. When I multiply 3 times 4,000, I can see that I added 3 zeros to the factor 4. So I need to add 3 zeros to my answer. 3 times 4, my basic fact, was 12. And now I will add 3 zeros to get 12,000. So 3 times 4,000 equals 12,000. When the basic fact has a 0 in the product, there will be an extra 0 in the final product. For example, 6 times 5 is equal to 30. There is a 0 in the product of my basic fact. So when I look at 6 times 50, I've added 1 0 to the factor 5 from my basic fact. I'm going to write 6 times 5 is 30, and then add the extra 0 at the end. So 6 times 50 equals 300. Let's look at 6 times 500. Now I've added 2 zeros to my factor 5. 6 times 5 was 30, and now I'll add my 2 zeros to the product. So 6 times 500 equals 3,000. Now let's look at 6 times 5,000. 6 times 5 was 30, and we added 3 zeros to the factor 5 to make it 5,000. So we'll add 3 zeros to my product. 6 times 5,000 equals 30,000. Let's complete the pattern. 7 times 3, my basic fact, equals 21. 7 times 30 equals 210, which is 21, and I added the 0. 7 times 300, I'll put 21 and I add 2 zeros to my product. And 7 times 3,000, I'll answer my basic fact and add 3 zeros to my product. Here's another example where we'll complete the pattern. 5 times 4 equals 20. I can see that my product has a 0. 5 times 40, I'll write my product and add 1 0. 5 times 400, I'll write my product and add 2 zeros, so 5 times 400 equals 2,000. And 5 times 4,000, I'll write my product and add 3 zeros. Let's find the product. 8 times 40. First, I'm going to look for my basic fact. 8 times 4, I know, is 32. 8 times 40 requires me to add a 0 to my product. Let's look at 6 times 300. First, I find my basic fact, 6 times 3, which is 18. There are 2 zeros in my factor, so I will add 2 zeros to my product. 6 times 300 equals 1,800. Now let's look at 7 times 7,000. I find my basic fact, 7 times 7, which is 49, and I can see that I need to add 3 zeros to my product. So 7 times 7,000 equals 49,000. Now you can use this strategy to help you estimate. We want to find 5 times 318. We want to find an estimate, an answer that is close. So let's round 318 to the closest hundred of 300. And now we can multiply. 5 times 300, I find my basic fact, 5 times 3, which is 15. And I add 2 zeros to the product. So 5 times 300 equals 1,500. So I know that 5 times 318 is close to this answer. Now let's estimate again. 3 times 793. 793 is close to 800. And now we can multiply. 3 times 8 is my basic fact, is 24, and then I'll add my 2 zeros to my product. 3 times 800 is 2,400. So I know that 3 times 793 is close to this answer. And this concludes our lesson on multiplying by tens, hundreds, and thousands.